We have Ryan Bove, who's the co-founder of Aurochs Brewing Company. Come on up.
So I'm Ryan Bove, one of the co-founders of Aurochs Brewing Company. I want to talk to you guys a little bit about the impetus or the motivation for the brand. So I was 23 years old. You would think at this age and stage of my life that I'd be in very good health. This was not the case. I'd lost 30 pounds. I was having heart palpitations. Every time I ate, it felt like I was digesting glass. So it took 6 months of going to the doctor, and at the end of that 6 months, it was a single protein called gluten found in wheat, barley, and rye. Removing that protein from my diet restored my life back to normal, but the one thing that I couldn't recapture was a great tasting craft beer. So I partnered up with my co-founder, Doug Foster, who's over there. He's been celiac since the age of 5. Fast forward till now, we've won a handful of national awards. We're on pace to grow 40% in our home state. We're in Wegmans and Whole Foods. Next year, we have wholesale contracts lined up for 4 additional states, and we have customers driving 3 to 7 hours to our brewery. Our goal is to fly anywhere in the world and drink a great tasting gluten-free beer. We brought 4 samples with us today, and I hope you guys get a chance to try them to see how we are changing the way the world experiences gluten-free beer. Thank you.
So CBA has a pretty popular gluten-free beer. How does Aurochs stack up, Tom?
This is the same conundrum I have with gluten-free products positioning themselves as beer. They shouldn't. You're trying to index yourself into that category where beer is definitively barley and wheat or malt-based, I think sets a really bad stage to try to play off of. And gluten-free is interesting in and of itself as a beverage, but the minute you try to position it in that beer category, I think by default and by definition, it has a shortcoming. I found them really interesting. They're very cereal forward, but they play more like cider for me than they do beer. So I love that it's naturally gluten-free. That part can't be dismissed. I love the personal narrative, but it still, for me, it doesn't function as beer.
In terms of the branding and the packaging, Carmen, we've got a bowl on top of the logo. Clearly, it's brewed with millet and quinoa. What do you think of the hierarchy, the label hierarchy for Aurochs?
The label hierarchy is a little bit, I think there's a little bit left to be desired. I think the naturally gluten-free aspect of this product is what really makes it stand out, and that is not terribly apparent on the front. In talking about it last night, we were curious if that was intentional or not. I thought the beers were actually pretty good. We tasted the Session IPA and the Blonde. And outside of that, it feels a little bit generic. There's nothing that really tells me that this is something that is different than other products that might be on the market.
Marty, are retailers and distributors looking for more gluten-free options in the beer category?
I believe they are, but nothing's broken through. And I do feel like there's a lot of questions from buyers trying to find what that is. I'm going to disagree with both of them, though. I really like the fact that they're not pressing. I'm gluten ignorant, and I don't need to be told that it's gluten-free. I think this survives on its own. There's something to the point that maybe beer isn't beer without the gluten in it. But I think they're going forward with what I said about O-beers or O-Light is just go forward, make a great product, and then live off of that to get people to understand that story. And that's what it did for me, because I'm gluten ignorant. So it's like, great, this is good. The Session IPA was wonderful. Then I get the story, then I understand it. And while it is, basic graphics, it also doesn't project anything or lead me to think of something else. It's non-offensive. It's easy to go to.